Welcome to Untitled Chapter, the review of the LG G-Pad 7.0, which is a quite beautiful tablet PC with a stunning price of only about $150 for a 7-inch HD display, which is looking really good. It's a slim and only 4000 milliamp powered battery, so you have a really quite good battery life in terms of if you watch a movie. It should last about 8 to, I think, 10 hours. Shouldn't be a problem since I've been using it for about half an hour now. We are still at 100% here on the battery. So LG is using again their own battery technology, which is lithium polymer. You can see here we have a 3.1 megapixel camera here on the back, a volume rocker, on and off switch right there on the side, also micro USB on the bottom for data transfer, then also 2 speakers here, and on the top we have not only the headphone jack and the micro SD slot to upgrade that, only 8 gig of internal memory, but also infrared, so you can control your TV, stereo, hi-fi system, or anything that you have at home where you would use only a regular remote control. That's what that is for, as you already have seen on the LG G2 and other even cheaper smartphones by LG. That's now standard that we always have that remote function. So we have also built in here a front camera with 1.2 megapixel, which is quite good, and again not only knock on but also knock code as a feature, so you can set up a password to use with up to 8 points, where you just hit the tablet like here on different spots, and then it will wake up instantly without having to press the power button and then typing in a code or then doing the knock code, which is quite handy. The new UI by LG is also looking really good. As you can see, we have here nice animations if you would unlock it, or if you don't unlock it, you can see that you can also rotate here the whole thing. And there's also cover available for this tablet, so when you would have a cover, you can just close it up, and then you have also some notifications there that are visible through a little, well, I'm not even sure if there's a window, but you probably will be able to use it for, of course, protection. So as you can see, we have also QPair here right now running, which is quite interesting app. So you can, for example, locate your phone or use any apps that are on your phone, or not any apps, get any notifications that are happening on your phone, on your tablet, which is really cool if you just have this in your office, charging right now at home, and you just want to use the tablet to chill on the couch, or watch a movie, or do anything that is not really work related, but still a phone call is coming in. You can answer that, and you can actually set up everything here in QPair, so that works quite nicely. As you can see, you can also set up when it should, of course, tell you what happened. For example, in the social network notifications, you can also set up that it should not contact you if it was Facebook or Foursquare, Hangouts, and there's really quite a few apps here inside the list. Then what's also cool is that you can find your phone by just hitting this button here, and then this phone here starts ringing because we're connected right now. But actually this works over Bluetooth, so if you are living in a bigger house, this won't work. It works, but also the other way around, so that is also available on my G2 or of course G3, and any Android phone there starting Android 4.1 will work with this. You don't even need to have an LG phone if you don't have one already. You can also say pair a new phone, but this is not the only main software feature here by LG, even though it says it right here on the box with the LG G-Pad 7.0. It has a 1280x800 pixel resolution, so you can take advantage of that by watching at movies or looking at your pictures that you took, for example here of the LG G2 or of myself. But actually let's check out the camera here that's built in where I took the pictures with. So you can see here, for example, how that looks like. You can also use here a flash, which means only that if it's a little bit dark, the display will go brighter, and then your face should look a little bit brighter and more realistic. But right now we have enough light from the outside, and you can of course also turn around here the camera to the 3 megapixel camera, which is in my opinion not as good or as it could be or as it should be, but it's of course enough to just shoot some basic pictures. And as I said, there's no flash here built in. But what you can see, for example, when I go here out again, that the display is quite stunning from the sides. The colors don't change a bit, and also from the bottom or top it looks really realistic and well made. So there's a few apps installed right here by LG, so I can't go left and right now. Of course, here at the end, Enter 2, Dead Trigger, and some other things are actually not pre-installed, but you have really quite a few cool features, like for example, also when you slide here down the notification bar, of course you can easily close these ones up. For example, here I can't deactivate QPair except for if I turn it off. But what is handy is that you can see here, of course, the Q Slide apps, for example. These are little apps that you can use here in extra little windows, which you can drag around, resize, and make see-through a little bit. So you can see the content behind that also, or just close them up like that. You can also close that if you don't want to have an extra bar up there. And you have also the possibility to really set up a lot of buttons here for you. And you can also set up here the your own actually list and order. What's also handy is if, for example, you don't want to see the volume rocker or the volume settings right up on top here. You don't have to see it. If you say you don't want the volumes, then you won't have it up there anymore, as you can see, since you have a volume rocker anyway here on the tablet. Same goes for the display brightness. You can also say that it should only use the automatic display brightness, which I hope is actually built in. I'm not actually even sure. Well, it says just night brightness, so at night it can go even a little bit lower. And it only has the auto rotate screen, so there's actually no sensor for the automatic screen brightness, which is a little bit sad, but it's alright if you just don't go too low and then you are outside in the sun. So if you're already here in the settings, you can see again here the brand new interface by LG. You have everything at your usual place when you have seen an Android smartphone before, but you have a few extra things like, for example, smart cleaning, which means right now we have, for example, 205 megabyte temporary internet files that you can delete with just one click, which is quite handy because you only have the 8 gigs of internal memory, which is actually even less if you look at, of course, Android is being installed. Some pictures are already on here, music, downloads, or miscellaneous, for example, is I think games, or no, apps actually are right up on top here. Miscellaneous is, I guess, just Android that is installed with 3.9 gigs. So you have about 3 to 4 gigs available for your own use. Now you can also see that we have dual window here, which means that you can also activate here split view. When you are reading your email, for example, you can just open up every link in a new window. That doesn't close the old window, even though we have a small screen. You can just say, okay, we have up on top, let's have a Chrome window, and up on the bottom, I want to chat in Hangouts. And then it opens up both apps. And you can see here how that looks like. Of course, when I open up here the keyboard, for example, you can barely see the browser up on top here, but I can just slide this down here and regulate how much I want to see. Actually, this is even better if you would watch a movie up on top, for example, browse through pictures. Actually, we can do that. Let me close here all 2 apps by just hitting back. And if I just say gallery on top and, for example, Hangouts on the bottom, it should be possible that I just drag and drop the pictures I'm seeing right now. Let's send it to myself. Here, for example, let's send this picture here to me. I think that should be possible. If not, maybe we need a file manager up on top here, so you can easily just close it up right here by going back till there's no back anymore. Then we have here a full size window, and I can just say I want to have the file manager on the bottom. Then I go to images, all images. Well, that doesn't work right now, maybe in the future, because that will be actually really quite handy. Anyway, actually that also works. I mean, you can just hit recent here, so it opens up the last 2 apps that we had open. You can also rotate the screen like that. So yeah, you are not bound in that matter. So otherwise, there's not much else to show you guys, since this is a quite beautiful tablet, really good price, $150. Cameras are alright, compared to, for example, an Asus MemoPad 7. The camera on the back on that one is of course a little bit better, but here the battery life is just really unbeatable. And here you can see also we have a Snapdragon 400 built in with, of course, enough power to run this machine. We have also 1 gig of RAM inside, and I already told you everything else like Android 4.4.2, and only Wi-Fi and 3G is available over your phone, for example, over the Q-pair function or just a regular tethering. So thank you much for tuning in. My name is Balazs. Don't forget to subscribe. There's some cool animations and features here built in that you can maybe just find in the future yourself, like for example double tap for also turning it off or on. So thank you much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, and my name is Balazs with Untitled TV, and thank you much for tuning in.